Hi everybody, this is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, the hood, welcome back to the baseball head. I hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. Now, as I've been saying over the last few days, whenever you send me like a super thanks or super chat in a video, particularly a super thanks, I will acknowledge it and I'll highlight it in a video, in a future video, and I'll highlight it in the community right away. So I got a super thanks on Monday from New York NYC Buzz 22. Very generous of you. I thank you. So like I said, I really appreciate all the time people take to watch the videos. But when you send me these super thanks, you get super acknowledgement from your host. Thank you. And of course, I'll mention you. And again, thank you, NYC Buzz 22. Very generous of you. Every time you send me one of these things, YouTube loves it because then they get money too. Not just your host. So I thank you. So obviously the big story is Juan Soto and what's going to happen with him. The last video I did for you, which was on Monday, discussed how the Mets were waiting to give him an offer. The Mets and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Yankees are the main competitors. From what I understand, one team did not even discuss him was the Phillies. So currently, to give you an update, currently I've said that the Mets had a 57% chance of getting Soto. Right now it's gone back to 58%. The Yankees are 42%. And all the other teams are just sort of there. Now, one of these teams could get desperate. The Red Sox, I'm hearing, are trying to sign multiple free agent pitchers, between Corbin Burns, trying to make a trade for Garrett Crochet, trying to bring in Blake Snell, and trying to really improve their Sean Manaea. So I've heard Sean Manaea for a while with the Red Sox, even during the season. So they're really looking to up the ante up there, up in New England. But the Mets are considered the clear-cut favorites, and this is according to an insider. Now, if you like this kind of stuff, you want to hit this, I will get you as much information on a regular basis on everything about Juan Soto and in the Mets on this channel. Insider explains why Mets are clear-cut favorite to win Juan Soto sweepstakes. MLB Insider conveyed why New York Mets should be feeling good about Juan Soto's free agency. And of course, this article is just a rehash from Sports Illustrated. New York Mets have made it exceedingly clear that they're going to make signing superstar slugger Juan Soto the top priority this offseason. Apparently, this is the only player we've heard the Mets talk to and meet. We haven't heard anything about anybody, really, quite frankly. He is the priority at this moment. He's the one single priority, and I guess everything else they'll figure out after that. They have, I will mention, they made a trade last week for Jose Siri. So that kind of puts the kibosh on the Mets looking for another center fielder to play every day. I think they're going to go with a platoon of Siri and Tyrone Taylor. I know there was a lot of talk early on they'd be interested in Luis Robert Jr. I don't think that's going to happen. I would stay away from him. The Mets aren't alone and wanted to secure one of baseball's best hitters to a long-term deal this winter. But in a November 25th article, USA Today's MLB Insider Bob Nightingale conveyed why Mets fans have got to be feeling good about their chance of doing so. I know I feel good about it. Owners and general managers are convinced that Soto will sign his mega contract perhaps no later than the conclusion of the winter meetings. It's been another 2 weeks. This won't be a repeat case of 2019 when Bryce Harper and Manny Machado patiently waited until their markets blossomed in spring training, or last winter when the money that was there in December evaporated in February, Nightingale wrote. There really are only 4 teams that are seriously in play for Soto: the Mets, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox. Like I said, the Phillies aren't in it. They never asked about him. Just to give you an update, the Mets are the clear-cut favorite, according to Nightingale. Executives say, simply because they don't believe there's a soul who will outbid owner Steve Cohen, while Yankees have a price in mind they don't want to exceed. I don't know what the price is, but we'll see. The Blue Jays could be the sleeper, but with Larry McGraw Jr. and Bo Bichette eligible for free agency in a year, Toronto would have to dramatically beat the Mets' offer to have a player, and obviously being in Canada, I don't think that would be much of a incentive for him. And his family is primarily on the East Coast, I would mention. And obviously the Dominican Republic is on the east coast of the United States, not on the west coast. It's no secret that Steve Cohen has the deepest pockets of any MLB owner. And if he and David Stearns both believe that signing Soto is the absolute best use of that money, they'll likely spare no expense in ensuring that Soto becomes the king of Queens. The next king of Queens. Now, we can go over what the player is about. I mean, he's a great left-handed hitter, on-base machine. He strikes out, but he walks a ton. Over 100 walks every year. He knows the strikes, and he's known the strikes since he came up in 2019. He's just a star. You talk about born a star. He was born a star. He's only 26 years old. There's no reason not to give him a long-term deal. If he was older, my attitude about him would be very different. But the fact that he's 26 years old and not 30 years old, I have no issue with the Mets giving him a long-term deal. Whatever, how many years it is, so be it. There's been a lot of rumors of an opt-out, but if there's been no, I know that there was an early talk last week, and I talked about it a lot, that the Mets have an idea of an offer to give him, which was 15 years or 14 years or whatever it was, and $660 million. And there was talk that there was an opt-out after the third and fourth year. If that's what it's going to take to get the guy, you bring him in here. And if they win a World Series in that 4-year window or that 3-year window, you do it. If he walks, goes to another team, fine. It was worth the money, believe me. There's no reason for people to get upset about an opt-out that may or may not be in the contract. And it's not my money, quite frankly. It's Steve Cohen's money. And if they put an opt-out after the 5th year and he rolls out of here, fine. But as long as they win that World Series in one of those years, I'm fine with it. The ends always justify the means. If you sign this guy to a mega contract, and maybe after 3 or 4 years he doesn't want to be here, he's not happy here, and the Mets win a World Series, then you can sort of clean your hands and you move on. That is not the worst thing in the world. That's actually a smart thing. That's a very smart thing. Then you're not tied down to this massive contract when he gets into his mid to late 30s. And really, to be honest with you, he's not hit his prime yet. His prime's in another year or so. So those prime years aren't there yet. And he's been very durable. Don't expect a lot of defense out of him. Don't expect a lot of run. He's not going to run. You don't need him to run. That's a very athletic as it is. You don't need him to do any of these little things. And to be honest with you, he does the big things. Hit the home runs, get on base, score runs, drive runs in. He'll drive 120 runs easily. But they got to put, obviously, they have a lot of holes on this team. The Mets don't have a first baseman. They have a lot of work to do on the pitching staff, and really, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done. But again, he's a mega star. He's a superstar. And when you get a superstar like him, you do whatever you got to do to bring him in here. You don't worry about 4 years from now or 5 years from now. That's short-sighted, quite frankly. And that's the way it is in baseball. Baseball's going that route. And that's probably a smart way to do it. If players want to be here, thinks he can get money somewhere else, hey, that's fine. Become a free agent at 30 years old. Most players become free agents at 30 anyway. He got here at the big league level 19 years old. 19, 20 years old. It's unusual. So, he's an unusual player. He's a great player. But I want to I want to know what you think about that. Just leave comments in the comments section. I read all the comments, believe it or not. Again, thank you, NYC Buzz 22, for the wonderful super thanks. Every time you send me a super thanks, it's a little bit extra for me to paint the house, a little bit extra to get linoleum put on the floor. This house needs a lot of work. It's not a money pit, but it needs work. That the roof doesn't leak, it doesn't leak. There's no problems. Nothing running in and out of here. There's no problems with that. But the major things here, quite frankly, are paint and really putting stuff on the floor. That's really, because really, to be honest with you, I have concrete on this floor. And I've been buying temporary linoleum on the floor so I don't have to walk on this concrete. And had a couple of casualties on the concrete, broken a couple of things that very upset me a lot. The first night here, I upset that I broke something that was very valuable to me on the floor. So the best way to sort of help me out, send me a super thanks, is a way to get some linoleum on this floor. And then eventually this place is, it's really looking good. When I'm doing a video now, it's looking really good. In the studio where I'll be doing most of the videos, it looks great in there. Just got to get the linoleum, the temporary linoleum down and get everything back in there, which I had in there before. So Thank you for watching this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.